Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. JZ here with another video on Action Taimanin. Today we're gonna do a tier list about who is the most fun character in the game. But before we start, don't forget to leave a like, share and subscribe if you enjoy the content. So, disclaimer, obviously this is gonna be completely subjective and it is based on my personal opinion. And that means that the things that I like are going to be reflected on the tier list. Obviously, this would be different for anyone, but I'll try to give you an explanation of why I think they go in the position that I put them on. But if you disagree, be sure to leave your tier list or your adjustments on the comment section and tell me why you think some characters are more fun than I think they are and why some others are not as fun. So, anyways, let's get started. And Asagi. Asagi is definitely a fun character. So, she's extremely basic. She focuses a lot on basic attacks, and her abilities are not like super cool, effective, or outstanding. There are a couple of them which are, but the most important one is Kojinka, and Kojinka is the reason why she is fun. It is not the control that she provides, but rather how engaging that mechanic is, because you debuff the enemy. You need to take advantage of that window of opportunity and hit as much as you can and use your skills properly. And then you need to retreat, protect yourself, look for another opening and abuse that time and again. And that I really like. It is a nice way to play with a character. I mean, there are some skills that are really boring, like the red one. Let me check the name. I have it over here. So, both Satsujinka and Renjinka, I wouldn't say that they are fun skills. In fact, they are probably some of the worst skills Asagi has in the team. In talking about fun. On the other hand, Shunshinka, that one is pretty hilarious. And Munika is nice. It's a nice way to just thirst the enemy, debuff them, and get near them. So yeah, I think that she is just fun. Not like something super standing, but the fact that she's engaging leaves her on this position. Sakura. Oh, boring or okay? Let me think. Like Sakura has T-Rex syndrome. She over relies on a very bad mechanic that is snare that immobilizes the enemy, but they can still attack, and she needs to be next to the enemy. So yeah. Though, if built properly, she deals amazing damage and she just one-shot things, and she can become tanky too on blue. So the variety makes her okay overall. Like, she is strong enough to delete the enemies. She is strong enough to become a tank when you properly build it on blue. Build her on blue. On red, on the other hand, is pretty bad. And the fact that she's basically forced to be next to the enemy while not providing slow stop or something makes it really hard to play this character, because she may get interrupted. It's not like something that happens a lot, but it does happen. So yeah, that's why she's just okay, not that great. Yuki is so boring, guys. I mean, she has two fun skills, maybe three. Number one is going to be, if I'm not mistaken, let me check the names. So Ryun is super fun to use, but there's a small disadvantage about using Ryun, and is that you need to position yourself properly and time the skill properly so the enemy doesn't go away. You want it to use it once the enemy is gonna break the super armors so that you deal the most hit. Then Ryudan is also pretty fun. You can just chase Ryudan, be in front of Ryudan, and the enemy is gonna chase you and they're gonna take more and more hits. So yeah, that's fine. And Hira 10 is also a nice skill. The Dodge, dash attack is really, really nice. It passes through the enemies. It repositions you pretty easily. It's a really good skill. But everything else in Yuki's kit is really, really annoying design-wise. And it is not effective, doesn't provide value. It is just so boring because you expose yourself without any kind of reward. And the animations are long. Let's not talk about the basic or basic enhancer. Let's not talk about Raimei. And Shinden. Shinden is just so bad because it's forced to track the enemy while doing this long curve, and it might just miss the enemy. So yeah, that bugs me. So yeah, most of her skills are pretty bad, and the fact that you have to be very picky about when you launch your skills is not fun. Rinko. Guys, I didn't mention that, but I'm evaluating the characters with everything that is available to them and with every color. So basically that means that we are taking into account every kind of support that you can equip to them, all the weapons, all the colors, everything. So if I evaluate everything that Rinko offers, she's boring. Like, she's super fun on blue, and she's also fun on green with Chosen, the limited pack weapon. But if we remove Chosen, she in red is atrocious. I mean, even with Chosen in red, she's atrocious. On green, she is also kind of annoying because it has a nice combo with what's the name? She has a nice combo with Violet Slash and Shift, as well as Wind Slicer. Another nice combo with the Spatial Rift and Meteor Impact. But Kochorambu, Mugenhoi, the basic enhancer I like, but she's prone to interruption. Like, that's one of the big issues that Rinko has. If she wasn't as prone to interruption, and Mugenhoi wasn't just like Yuki's skill that tracks the enemy while making this big curve that makes it likely that it can miss, like those disadvantages make the character not difficult to use, but you have to be like aware of when you're activating your skills, and being aware and precise with things is not what I describe as fun. So yeah, that's why she goes in boring, though she has a couple, and I do mean a couple, fun builds. Oof, poor Murasaki. Is she boring or okay? Let me think. Like, Murasaki has potential because she has a Beyblade skill. Beyblade, the skills are super, super fun. She can just recover like full HP on any color thanks to the counter, Fushi no Jin, and she can control the enemy tremendously. And the green build is immortal. Senpu is a great... Okay, yeah, like, Senpu is great for damage, and it's pretty hilarious how many hit it can deal. And blue, on blue it deals even more. Tentacular Anchor, a way to connect, get near the enemy. Yeah, like, she's okay. I won't say she's boring, because she has so many things in her kit that makes her fun. The only thing that prevents her from going up is definitely her speed. That's the big issue that she has, the speed of the basic attacks. If she has like speed buffs, she goes up, but there are not many things that give her enough speed buffs. Like, even with the speed buffs, her skills become okay, but her basic are still like way too slow. Anyways, is she the most fun or just fun? The most fun or just fun? No, she's the most fun. As simple as that. Like Sue is an amazing character. She works on any color. She can perform multiple roles. She isn't prone to interruption thanks to her niche. She is constantly applying super armor onto her. She isn't able to heal. That's a little caveat that she has. But you can easily build her as an extreme DPS, or easily as an extreme DPS is not exactly. She's not a Spinel nor Asteroth, but she can deal the damage if you have the right equipment, and and she can become really really tanky just by giving her a couple HP recovery tools. Because thanks to one of her skills, if I'm not mistaken, it's either the counter or the perfect dodge. Let me check. It's this one. Rinkoku. Rinkoku is going to give you super armor. And also, if you are using a pure color build, you're getting 30% damage reduction while the buff is active for 6 seconds. That's impactful. So yeah, I also like the fact that she can go... like most of her builds are melee, but she can also go range, which is pretty hilarious. She pulls the enemy with the green skill. She launches a missile with the blue skill. She does a ton of punch with her red. She has a weapon. Well, I mean, obviously the most busted one right now is going to be Double Dragon Kajiri, but Unidentified Knuckle X I do like a ton. It is super super fun to use. The Momochi weapon is pretty effective. She has two anti-demons, anti-trade weapons. She has the summer weapon, which allows her to abuse her ultimate. And the ultimate is a special mode, not like Mirabel's, not just damage. It is so much fun. I really like this character design wise. Even though it's not the most effective one, the most meta, it is fun to use. Definitely. Oh, oh. So Shiranui. Shiranui has a ton of issues. I would put her on boring for the most part. Yeah, let's go with boring. Let me explain very quickly why. So, she has damage. And it's not that much damage, but that's all she has. She doesn't provide debuffs. She doesn't have like tremendous buffs. The AoE of her attacks are awkward at times, which is something that I really really hate about her kit. Like Kasaguruma is okay, but it locks you in place. Yugen Goku is not okay in my opinion, because it's only going to affect the area where you summon the spear. And though it summons a ton of spears, there's many instances where I just launch my skill and the enemy doesn't get hit because they are not that big. Which it is really, really annoying. Senko has a very small AoE. It does deal a huge amount of damage, but it also shares command with the Rondo, which is the skill that you always want to use. Sogetsuin is kind of slow. It is useful and fun to use, but kind of slow. So, yeah, like, she has a lack of identity. That's the main issue that she has, a lack of identity. She deals mid damage. It's not like super high damage, it's just okay damage, and it doesn't do anything else, which prevents her from being like super super fun. She doesn't have damage, debuffs, buffs, good AoEs. So yeah, that's a shame. This one is easy. It's super boring. Sorry, there is only like let me think, like 2 skills that are actually fun to use. One is gonna be the homing missiles, because you just do your attacks and then boom missiles constantly without doing like any command. You just attack the command, and that's the command. You push the hold the attack button, and that's the command. Whenever the cooldown is down, you're gonna be able to cast the skill. As simple as that. And the other skill that does matter, and it's really fun, and it's engaging, is going to be the green skill, Round Slicer. You evade, and you move constantly to be near the enemy, but avoiding their attacks and dealing damage. It is really nice. Healing field is like obviously pretty effective, but I mean, healing isn't like fun. Besides, it's percentage, so you need to stay in the healing area. It would be way better to just, I mean, have also an extra healing that gives you a ton of healing on top of the healing area. I don't know. Like, I mean, it's not fun to wait for you to heal. An axe impact is too slow to be fun. I mean, the animation is nice, but it is just too slow to deliver all the damage, and you may get interrupted. Kurenai. Oof, easy peasy lemon squeezy. So, number 1, she works on any color. Number 2, she can be melee or range. Number 3, she has a ton of weapons. And on top of that, she has Coronet of Supremacy, which is one that uses a weapon active to deal damage. And it gives her a boost so that she can generate particles so that you can just abuse the weapon active. It is super fun to use that. Not to mention the weapon, the pack weapon, Dainsleif. Dainsleif? I don't remember the pronunciation. Let me check. Dainsleif. Yeah. So that one is super fun because it gives you an AoE. I don't know. It's a couple lightnings, thunders around you that are going to deal damage to the surrounding enemies. And that's one of the biggest weaknesses of Kurenai, that she has to problems with mobs. But that solves that problem whenever she's surrounded. She has great weapons in the form of Grindhouse Special, Twin Sword, IR, and UV. She can be an ulti spammer. She can do so many things. She also debuffs. She has a counter that heals. She's so good. And she heals on 2 colors, fortunately. And the blue one, well, we have Massacre Kurenai, so not to worry about that. So yeah, she's so versatile. She's too much fun to use. Overall, she's also too much fun to use. Basically, the busted debuff carries her to this position. There's one thing that I gotta note about her that I don't like, and it's the renewal for the Vicious Slasher. Before, it would slash and in front of her and launch waves of energy as form of slashes. It wasn't exactly like a straight line, but it did the job and it dealt a ton of damage. Now, this synergizes with her kit and it pulls the enemy next to you so that you can use Hypnosis Seal, but it is not the same. That was a damaging skill and it was super fun. She has a Beyblade skill, I mean super fun. Carnage Dancing and Blooming Carnage and Wicked Slasher are nice skills. Flash Step also pretty fun. Like, she's super fun to use. And let's not forget about the busted debuff that is Mind Control. Oof, Asuka. So, let me tell you, if you have Asuka with gear, it goes to the most fun. If you have Asuka without... No, is it the most fun? Let me think. Yeah, it can go to the most fun, sure. But without... I mean, even if you have supporters without the weapons, she goes to boring. Why? The weapons provide a huge damage boost in the form of Impact Blade. She also has the ability to repeat the casting of Rendering Storm with Clear Wing Blade, and she has healing with Serpent of Carnage, which is super important. Then, if you have the supporter, the White Feather Asuka supporter, you're gonna heal constantly, and you're gonna break the super armor of the enemy constantly. That's amazing. In the case of the skills, basically all of them are super fun to use, but I mean, the launching skills, obviously, those are pretty bad always. And Spiral Blast. It is a counter that it just deals damage and it gives you a buff or debuff the enemy, and you just spin and make a tornado. Not the best skill, but everything else is super nice. She can transition between being range or melee with the Taimanin Art Godwing. She can deal tremendous damage in front of her with Mag Punch or Mag Impact. She creates this Dead Zone. Well, it deals a ton of multi-hits with Wind Slicer. Bomb Escape is really nice for escaping, actually, and dealing damage at the same time. And Rendering Storm, while prone to interruption, it has a nice animation that deals nice damage. So, Ingrid. Ingrid is fun or the most fun? I think she's fun. Let me think. Okay. Yeah, just fun. Oof. Like, you know why she's just fun and not the most fun? Because of red. That's the thing. You're gonna see characters that work on any color over the most fun or have also weapons to take into consideration. And over here, characters who either are monotonous but still provide something, and characters who don't have at least one color that is also fun. In the case of Ingrid, it's gonna be the red one. Blooming, Evil Bloom is still pretty boring, even though the newest weapon fixes its speed issue. It still locks you in place, and you expose yourself with a character that doesn't heal. That's not super fun to just take a hit and then be evading the whole stage and praying not to get hit. Piercing Dragon, Blinking Ember, and Evil Heart Blast. No, Evil Heart Blast, no. Evil Flare. Those three are nice ways to get near the enemy and hit them. Nice ways of start the combat. Evil Blast, super fun to use. It deals a ton of damage, it deals a ton of hits, it stuns the enemy. The basic enhancers, I don't want to talk about the basic enhancers after the renewal. But Dark Flame and Crescent Slash are pretty good skills. And she has great weapons, damage-wise. Like, they don't offer, like... Well, there is one weapon that offers a unique mechanic, and that's Ignis Blaze. That is going to constantly give you more skills, because it resets the skills when you reach a certain number of stacks. So yeah, but if we omit that one, like every other weapon that she has, the Candy Saber, the Momochi weapon, the Blue Lightsaber, those are designed to increase damage. She's plain yet effective, really strong, but she still lacks that HP recovery. Oh yeah, and she has like a death weight skill in the form of her cancel skill, Absolute Incinerate, which is a feature that she needed, but not as a skill, but rather as an ability on other skills, like Evil Bloom being able to just cancel it by itself, not with another skill. So yeah. So she goes in fun. She's really, really fun, honestly. Then Kirara. Kirara. Is she okay or is she fun? Let me think. She lacks HP recovery. She slows the enemy. She is not that proficient on red. Yeah, but she's able to freeze the enemy. She's able to deal a ton of damage. She can have normal speed on the blue build, and she can actually use effectively the Taimanin Art Frost, the basic enhancer, on blue, which is a really, really fun basic enhancer. The amount of hits it deals at the end of the chain is amazing, but it's super awkward if you use it on anything but blue, because you don't have a buff for speed in those colors. Green has Snow Leopard Sprint and Snow Leopard Fist, which are super good skills. Glacier Drop, Icy Crystallize, considering everything that she has on her kit, and the weapons. For the weapons, technically she has the Christmas Twinkle, which it's just whatever. But the highlights for her are gonna be Luffy's Drop and the Momochi weapon. And technically, she has HP recovery with her character release weapon, Yomotsu Heigui, which, yeah, it has heal, but nobody uses that weapon. So she's... Oh, fun okay. Oh, okay, I'm gonna say it this way. I'm gonna put it in fun, but she only reaches fun if you know how to use her and you have the gear to use her. If not, she would drop to boring, especially if you don't have the gear to use it. I mean, if you know how to use her but you don't have the gear, okay, she's okay. But she can reach fun. She's able to reach fun, just so that you know. But the gear does affect this one. Let's see. As for Noah. Oh my god. So red is pretty boring. Blue is blue is pretty okay. And green is also okay. She has a ton of damage, she can be tanky, she can heal, she can... Considering the weapons, yeah, she reaches fun. As simple as that. I don't like to take advantage of the familiars with Noah, but she is able to cast familiars. She is a dedicated melee attacker with a range, a very awkward basic enhancer that is actually pretty strong, even though it's awkward. She has healing with the Crystal Heart, I think it's a weapon. She has healing on blue, basically just cause. She has great damage on green with her Chaotic Beholder. She has a great leader skill, like... she's super good, but her red is not that impressive. That's the only thing holding her from most fun. And in regards of the weapons, like, they're pretty useful, but most of them don't feel like unique, like Cornet of Supremacy, or, well, only Mr. Wonderbird. That's the only one that feels unique, but I am not a fan of familiar, so that's affecting the score. Keep that in mind. Asteroth, she's super fun to use, in my opinion. But that really depends on the person who talks about this character, because she's very simple. But what she does well, because of that simplicity. She's a dedicated range attacker that you can go mid-range or long-range, depending on your build, because you have two basic enhancers that incentivize you to go mid-range or melee. One for dealing a ton of damage to one enemy, and the other one to deal with waves of enemies. She can deal with waves of enemies super easily with all three pure color skills, because they have big AoEs or track the enemies. She is able to get near the enemy super quickly with two of her skills, Phoenix Dive and Flame Haze, I think. Let me check the name. Yeah, Flame Haze. And Lava Servant is also pretty good, casting familiars whenever you do a perfect dodge. But then we have skills like Prominence, which is a counter, and Settle of Fair, which are pretty bad, but she works on any color. In terms of weapons, she has great weapons, but they don't affect her gameplay in any particular way, like giving... there is one. Undying Apophis does cast twice Supernova and Satellite Flare, and it does affect the movement of Satellite Flare. But other than that, we're just talking about damage increase, damage reduction, the Momochi weapon, and such. So, yeah. She's pretty fun, but because I like that kind of gameplay where you just abuse your distance and mobility. So yeah, Tokiko. Oh, I want to put her here, but she just goes here. She lacks a color. Like her green is still not that great. It's usable, but not that great. So let me tell you, this is a pretty fun character. Squall, the blue one, is gonna be amazing for damage, and it also hits everyone surrounding you. Fang is also great, especially if you have the weapon. It's going to deal a ton of hits. It's going to debuff the enemies, and if you have the weapon, it further debuffs the enemy. She can change between melee or range with Magpipe. She has a great animation on Stone Piercer, yeah, even though it's not that effective. Clairvoyance and Taimanin Art Blast are super amazing. They give you a ton of utility and damage increase. And well, she is fun to use. The only thing that is not great on her kit is gonna be Smashing Spree, because it locks you into the animation. Though it's faster and it ends quicker, it still exposes you. You want to use that as a finisher when the enemy super armor is down. So yeah, that one no. Ooh, Shizuru. Shizuru goes here, easy peasy. Same issue. She has one color that is annoying, in my opinion, and that's green. Queen's Whip doesn't offer that much in terms of damage or utility, and it exposes you a lot, which is one of the things that put her over here. Everything else from her kit is super nice. Well, maybe not the launching attack, but everything else is great. Like Whip Grip, Whip Shot, Chasing Strike, those are amazing. They debuff the enemy, they reposition you or the enemy. Plant Invaded has a huge AoE. Rose Rondo, amazing damage and utility. Plant Wall, also pretty nice. It deals a nice amount of hits. Sprout Guarding, the healing, and not to mention the leader skill that is going to give you the roses with the buffs. For the weapons, we have Eye of Dawn, Goddess of Love, and the Momochi weapon, which gives a ton of utility. And Frozen Valkyrie is able to freeze the enemy. That's silly. Well, yeah. But that green skill really bugs me. It exposes you with no reason, no good reason, because it doesn't deal enough damage to just break the super armor. So yeah, one color gets the downfall of this character. Felicia. Felicia goes over here. I mean, she used to be pretty boring. I would say okay, but the renewal really fixed her. She gains speed and damage whenever the enemy is marked. You do have to mark the enemy, but you don't have to do a perfect dodge now. You can just use the new improved skill. It is not new. Sanguine Smash. Sanguine Smash? I don't know. But this one, you hold during attack, and it's going to splash a lot of blood and apply blood mark. And on green it debuffs. Yeah, like her green color debuffs. It's super great. The red one is for damage, amazing. The blue one is for utility, as you become a healer and a tank. The animation of the skills are great. The basic enhancer, the one that gives you speed, is super fun. Like, she's amazing nowadays. And let's not talk about the weapons. The weapons are pretty decent. Nightfall, the Mochi weapon, the Reaper's Wing are amazing weapons. She does have an anti-trade weapon, and the pack weapon is acceptable. It's not great because it only enhances blue, but it does increase the damage of the evil strange, so that's nice. Let's see. Micah. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So half Micah's kit is useless, and the other half is extremely busted. She is a dedicated range attacker, and she's pretty slow at delivering the basic attacks. Though, the skills that you use have a huge AoE, tracking capabilities, long range, super long range, and best of all, whenever the enemies get near to you, you're gonna do a perfect dodge that makes it rain fire, and they're gonna receive so many hits, so much damage that they're gonna just break the super armor and they're not gonna hit you anymore. So it is a nice way to defend yourself. She's just like Asteroth. It is so well designed about being a ranged attacker. It is just great. Like, unfortunately, half her kit is like, I don't like it, I don't use it, it is suboptimal, whatever. But Made of Flame, Death from Above, Incendiary Round, Ruthless Explosion, and Carpet Bombing are going to carry you. Especially Made of Flame. Made of Flame I have to highlight because people didn't like this skill before because it locked you in place. And if you didn't have enough damage, you were gonna be exposed. But now with Massacre Kurenai, you can just take the hits. You become so tanky. And it also has an extended range now, which is amazing. And the leader skill. The leader skill is busted too. Yeah, it increases the damage even further. Rin. Fun or the most fun? Let's see. I just have to check. No, just fun, unfortunately. Green is what's holding her. So, she's a lot of fun. But there are a couple things in her kit that doesn't provide us more value. They kind of seem like they provide value, but they don't. Like a Denki that increases your speed. Yeah, that's nice. And it gives you Electric Barrier. That's not a great buff, trust me. Volt Rush. It has a great AoE. But it needs a couple more hits. Or something. I mean, it takes a long animation just to deliver, I think, 5 hits or something like that. No, maybe 6. Soaring Swallow, it's okay, but I don't like follow-up animations. Volt Hook, it's a nice way to get one enemy in front of you, and it has a bit of utility. Electric Volt and Volt Wipe are okay. The Volt Sword, the Taimanin art, basic enhancer, it's fine. Volt Spin is also fine. Like, everything is fine until we get to, well, Denki, Reika, which is the launcher, and Chain Vault. Chain Vault is the big issue here. It does deal damage. It does have great hits, because if you hit the enemy with the lightning, this is going to break into 6 different lightnings, and each one is gonna deliver another hit onto the target. And it also electrocutes the target. But even so, it doesn't have that much damage. And for weapons, fortunately, she has great weapons in the Momochi weapon and Lightning's Rouser. But Ragnarok, it tries to make Chain Bolt a skill that you should micromanage so that you can do optimal damage and such. And it just becomes a hassle, unfortunately. Sora. I mean, she is the most fun. She is so busted right now. She works on any color. She has healing on 2 colors. She has great weapons with identity. Don't forget about Freckle. That is so much fun. The renewal weapon is way stronger, but the original is a ton of fun. She has a busted buff in the Awakening skill that actually works now, which is great. She is a dedicated range attacker with only one mid-range skill. She's easy to build. She's just amazing. Unfortunately, like, she doesn't have like even more identity like Kurenai or Su with the weapons, because she only has one weapon, and it still locks her in place so that she can just deliver a range attack. It like doesn't feel like a big change about what she does, but still pretty fun nonetheless. Oh, again, Green holding down this character. So, what happens with, well, why is she over there? Supposedly they were in order, but, well, what happens with Asusa? So, Asusa has Shindara, which is nice, pretty decent skill. She has Dragonfly Dance, which again is nice. It deals, you take a stand and you deliver a great deal of damage. But then you had Shikigami Vikala, which is awful because it's just not fast enough, and it exposes you a lot without reason. You deliver 3 hits, maybe 5 hits with this skill by creating Shikigami clones. But since they are too slow, they might miss the enemy if it's moving. And that's awful. Yeah, like, honestly, that really bugs me about her kit. Everything else is okay, like Shadow Sprint is nice, a way to just deliver a big AoE dash attack. Gale Slash, the jump with the hit is nice. Mirror Image, the counter, that the revenge counter, which heals you, is okay. Double Team is okay, also pretty good. The basic enhancer I don't like, but that's a matter of preference, I know. And yeah, poor Green, honestly, it really bugs me. Let me think. I think she just reaches okay. So, what happens with Anna Rose? Anna Rose has this issue that she lacks an identity. It's similar to Shiranui, but at least she's strong enough. She does have healing on any color thanks to the Bower. She has a great attack in Madosen that gives either a healing or a debuff. She has great damage on Rymax. She has great damage on, well, not great damage, but usable damage on Hyakuretsusen, yeah. She has a great buff on Jackson Bound, a nice basic enhancer, a nice dash attack. Darkness provides nice utility nowadays. And Grudge is just fun to use. It is not effective, but it is fun to use the counter. It is very silly. And Jackson Bound, that one also bugs me. No, not Jackson Bound, sorry, Divine Wrath. That one bugs me because it is a follow-up attack. I don't like follow-up attacks. Those are bad. So yeah, she doesn't buff herself too much. She does have a buff in Jackson Bound, but it's not like she's a Spinel that applies 3 times the same attack buff, or well, different attack buff, but effectively she's gonna have a ton of attack. She just have like a mini super buff, and that's it. And she doesn't debuff the enemies too much. She's like a jack of all trades, master of none. That's the issue with her. Easy. She can be ranged, she can be melee, she can heal on any color, she can deliver devastating damage on any color. She can create weapons that have damage against bosses. The Mochi weapon works super well with her. Her basics are amazing. God, this character is so good. Like, she doesn't have a leader skill yet, but I wonder how busted she's gonna be when she does. Like, she's amazing, guys. She is amazing. She doesn't need that much of a buff, but it would be nice to make her even more busted with just the basic, not just the leader skill. Yeah, so yeah, this is super nice. Use this character. Okay, perhaps this, I don't want to say this is bias because I base my decisions on my experience, but I gotta make a highlight. This one is extremely fun to use, but it does have an Achilles heel. But even so, with that, even though maybe I should put it in fun if I follow the trend, I think this is just so much fun. Blue is awful with her. If you use the main blue skill, what's the name? Let's see. If you use Suicide Drone, if you don't use that one, and you just use instead Bullet Dance that changes on blue, that's fun. That's really fun. But if we omit this skill, everything else about her is pretty nice. If you go green, you are gonna be super fast, dealing a ton of combos. It is amazing. She has utility in the form of drone shooter that summons a drone and cast a healing area. Super useful. Quad Burst is whatever skill. It's not like super effective, but it does buff you if you go green. Bullet Dance, it is not notable until you go with blue. With blue, it just focuses the enemy and deals a ton of hits. If not, you're gonna do a wide attack, and it's not like the most effective thing. The basic enhancer is amazing because you use lasers now. Bullet Storm, super great skill that is going to attack on a big AoE. Trick Shot is not effective, but it has a nice animation. And then Triple Burst, the skill that carries this. The lasers are just great. Deliver great damage, affect a big have a not wide, not big, a long AoE, and if the enemy continues to go after you, they're gonna get hit. I mean, it is great. She is great. I mean, not everything in her kit is useful, I'll admit, but similar to Micah, even with those flaws, she delivers, and she's so much fun to use. Like, basically, Triple Burst, Fastest Shot, Bullet Storm, the basic enhancer, and Drone Shooter, those 5 skills carry her. As simple as that. The most fun. The most fun. Why she's the most fun? What she lacks in weapon variety, with skill active and such, she has in versatility on her builds. She is great on any color, number 1. The best is green, but she works pretty well on any color. She has healing, she has buffs, she has a great debuff when using takeover. She can go rainbow, and she abuses rainbow like no one else. Well, maybe like Sora. Sora is the best rainbow color character, but Quake Stomp, god, that skill is so much fun. Yeah, so yeah, she's the most fun. Guess what? Obviously she goes here, because again, these 2 characters are not engaging at all. You just leave them and do their thing. Golem is not exactly like super fun. I think that Emily is even more fun than using Shizui. So yeah, not much to say about that. The most fun skill she has, it's light what? Let's see. Arrowing Light. Yeah, Arrowing Light is the most fun skill, as well as Team Tag. Team Tag is kind of okay, but I mean, it is an unfortunate case. Elenor. Okay, I don't particularly like Elenor, but I'm trying to be objective here, as objective as possible on this subjective tier list. God, she reaches fun. Yeah, she reaches fun, no doubt about that. She works on any color, but her effectiveness varies on the color. I don't like Stampede because it is a little bit too fast. That's the issue with Stampede. Unlike other projectiles that deliver a ton of hits, Stampede does deliver a ton of hits, but it goes so fast that it doesn't abuse the damage. And if the enemy comes to you, they may take even less hits because they are moving while they take the damage, and the AoE is not going to affect them thoroughly, let's say. Maelstrom is okay, Acid Rain is okay, Geyser Burst is okay, Reflective Ray is amazing. But an Aqua Curtain. Aqua Curtain is useful, not like something that you really like to use, but it is nice to have that immunity. But then we have the basic enhancer, Feral Spirit, Spirit Blast, and Aqua Splash, which are awful skills. Like, those skills. And the fact that she's mid-range. She really would like to be a long-range attacker, but she's forced to be mid-range and measure the distance between you and the target and your timing for the attacks. That's also a big influence on why I don't put her on the most fun, because she is cohesive. Just that being cohesive at mid-range isn't a great thing. Hevik is boring. Like, she has a couple things that save her from being a complete mess, but she is boring for the most part. Like, which things save her? Basically, Octopus Windmill, her natural basic chain, and Octopus Ever, and Choke. Octopus Choke too. Like, there's 4 things in her kit that help her. Her unique buff is terrible, it doesn't heal enough, and you just become visible once you attack again, which is bad. The decoy is not that great. Yeah, there is another skill that is actually good. The tentacle, what? Tentacle. Octopus Field. Octopus Field is amazing, actually. But she's not gonna get carried with only that. Like, the counter is bad. The the red one is awful. The green is also pretty bad. So yeah, when you have only one good color, that's when you drop. Obviously, Spinel is gonna go over here. She has almost no healing. No, she has no healing actually. But she has an immense amount of damage. And she can become super crazy fast. And she works on any color. The weapons do not have an identity, I'll admit. But the damage compensates for that. So, yeah, she's super fun to use just because she explodes everything. And the basic enhancer is also pretty good. Demonic Arc Detonate. Oh yeah, of course the skill. Wait a moment. I didn't want to put it, but Boulder Quake is nice. Dazzling Strike is nice. Spinning Slicer is nice, even though the activation condition is awful. Whenever you actually are able to activate this, it deals a nice amount of hits and it has a great animation. An Explosive Rampage. Let's not forget about Explosive Rampage. Pretty good skill. No. We're not here yet. Oh, you dropped just by one color, God. And guess which color is it? Yeah, it's green. Like, blue and green for Lena are amazing. In terms of weapons, let me check. I think she doesn't have like a weapon with a unique identity. Like, her best weapon with an identity, let's say, would be Kakahirako. But she has the Momochi weapon. She has her unique weapon, her character release weapon, Cherry Storm. Because the other one, Sakura Tempest, is awful by comparison. And then we have the skills. Cherry Blossom Frenzy, super nice. Blinding Storm, amazing. Storm Drive, they are just great. I don't like late Bloomer, but it's useful, I'll admit. Cherry Storm, amazing. Both basics are great. Vanishing, super great. Raging Tempest, super fun. But Coral Sword Dance. Whenever there is a bad pure color skill, that means that in most situations you're not gonna use that build, that particular build, because you're missing the skill that deals the most damage. Even though you may have utility on other skills that give you buffs, debuffs, control, whatever, you don't want to use it. Coral Sword Dance has a small AoE for what it is and a super long duration. And it even doesn't hit on every single section of the attack, I think. I don't remember. But, yeah, this skill, God, it holds her back so much. One skill can make the difference. Red, guys. Red. Lapis isn't a great attacker on green and blue. She can be an attacker. She isn't just great, but she's disgustingly fun on red. And she has a great utility on a great deal of utility on green and blue. So basically you can play her however you want, either as a supporter or an attacker. Because you can go dedicated attacker on every color, just so that you know. Just that the best one is gonna be red with Moral Boost and Skydance. In terms of the weapons, there isn't anything like notable because there are no actives. They're just damage increase effects. So yeah. Even so, she is super fun to use. Like red carries her so hard, and the utility feels so great whenever you need it. Obviously, Fantasma goes here. No doubt about it. She works on every color. She is very unique on every color. Blue debuffs speed and deals a tremendous hit. God, that skill is amazing. Red becomes an off tank. No, a dedicated tank if you build her properly. I mean, it's great. Green deals with waves of enemies and deals a ton of damage. She can go like a glass cannon, or she can go like a tank, depending on if you put damage reduction supporters or not. She has great utility with debuffs. She has buffs. She has great weapons in the Momochi weapon. Her Falling Heart, Gold Sphere. Like, she's amazing, guys. She's amazing. Francis. Okay, as I mentioned, I'm evaluating everything, and she gets carried in this position because of the weapon. Without the weapon, she drops to boring. Just so that you know. The weapon, revolving bat, I think it is. Let's see. Revolving bat allows her to use her leader skill. Without it, you cannot use the leader skill unless you equip Onigoroshi. Most of her skills are okay, pretty decent, fine. They deal great damage, they have utility, they are fun to use. But we have Onigoroshi, which is immediately after an attack, you just use the skill. And basically, you have to time your attacks properly so that you use Onigoroshi so that you don't lose the stacks of Tipsy. That's why Onigoroshi is so annoying. Not to mention that it doesn't deal that much damage. So that's also a thing. And Six Heavens Demise. That's the other thing that is terrible about her kit. Like, again, an attack that it's activated at the end of the normal attack chain. So, not that great. Everything else is like usable, okay, fun to use. But those two skills. No. Natu. She's fun. She doesn't reach the most fun because of red. Green is amazing, it deals great damage to the front. And blue has a nice amount of utility. And you become tanky with her. She can be a fast attacker. She's nice. She has healing. She has not damage reduction, but rather endurance, I think is the stat. And, well, she is nice. She's nice. But I'll admit she doesn't specialize in anything. Like, only on green she specializes on damage tremendously, but that's about it. And red is just lackluster for her, unfortunately. Because her debuff isn't that impactful, that's the issue. Then, Ragnarok. Do I need to say it? You know it, we know it, we all know it. She's the most fun, obviously. She heals just by applying her personal debuff, which she applies on most of her skills, which is freeze. She has great utility. She has great damage. She can go range or melee. She works on every color. She has amazing weapons. Most of them are dedicated to damage. Only, like, she doesn't have actives, unfortunately, but she also provides utility for the team. She's wow. And even on Rainbow, her skill on Rainbow is amazing. It deals a ton of hits. Mirabel. Oof. Let me check only the skills. Close combat. Missiles. Fire support. I'm gonna put her on fun. Like, considering everything that she has, She's extremely fun, especially if you have the right gear, because you unlock certain possibilities to just spam her ultimate. But the thing is that they try to do a mixture between summoner, melee, and range. And she does work, but the melee part, particularly for her, isn't well polished. That's the only thing. She lacks healing in every color. She has Blitzkrieg, which is great for healing on green. But if you're not on green, close combat, which is the red one, exposes you a lot. And that's not nice. Blue can manage because there is a couple supports that heal you, and Storm Missile is going to be a range attack at the end. And she's super fun to use when you have Riot Tackle, a Command Assemble, and Fire support, Full Metal Jacket, Spreadshot. Those are amazing. But the lack of cohesion in her melee section of her gameplay is what prevents her from being the most fun. Like, she's really, really fun. If she had enough healing and just devastating damage on those melee hits, I would put her higher. Lan, fun or okay? God, poor Lan. Lan over here is going to have a very mid leader skill as well. Ooh, she's okay. She's okay. Like, she only doesn't drop to boring because blue is so good. Because she does have a couple things in her kit that are actually fun to use. But two main color skills that are kind of is not great. Staff, Golden Crusher Staff is horrible to use because if the enemy moves, you're gonna miss. And Dragon Strike, then you might also miss when using this skill. That's awful. And there is a gap where you can get hit and you can get interrupted. That's also not great. But there are other things like Quicksand, Ant Lion Pit, Tempest Formation, the basic enhancer, Storm Formation, that's also nice, Suodi, and Sandblast. Like, everything else, omitting basically green and red main colors, are gonna be okay. That's why she reaches okay. Whew. Cara boring or okay? No, I think she's okay. So, what does Cara has? She is a copy paste of Asteroth, but she's melee, which is bad. She lacks super armor. She lacks healing, which she desperately needs considering her HP. And her skills, her main color skills, are unimpressive. The only one that it's actually pretty nice is a Pool of Blood. But the other ones are just you hit with your blood in the form of punches. Crimson Smite and Retribution are very similar. Crimson Punishment is similar to Fantasma's basic attacks, and also to the red skill of Kirara combined. Bloodblade is also nice to use, actually. Blood Spree, I hate that one. It is a dash attack that is going to do a long attack in front of you that hits the enemy in front of you, yeah, but it's also supposed to hit other enemies. But it only does a line, a straight line, rather than a cone. That's not very useful. Crimson Presses, while useful as a skill, it is not like something that you would say it's fun. It is a buff, a good buff, but not fun to use. Crimson Regine, it is not like super fun because of the activation condition. If the activation condition and the effect were a little bit different, it would be fun. Bloodblade needs more, a bigger AoE and more utility and damage. With that, it will be a decent skill. But right now, it's like you get into the mouth of the wolf just cause to deal a little bit of damage without any kind of benefit. Seems logic. And Crimson Shadow. It's useful, but not my favorite. It's a counter. And as for weapons, like, she doesn't have that many options. She shares weapons with Asteroth, but as I mentioned, Asteroth has like dedicated damage weapons, so she doesn't have like weapon active that she can abuse or use. She only has damage increase weapons. So yeah, she's just okay. And barely okay. So yeah, guys, that's about it. That's kind of my tier list. And as you can see, the more utility, versatility, weapon actives, cohesion, also super important, the character has, the higher they are. And the more unreliable, unengaging they are, the lower they go. Like, no HP recovery, no super armor, long animations for her skills. The damn curve they have to do with some of their tracking attacks, which makes them miss their target. Well, anyways, guys, let me know what you think about the tier list. Let me know if you agree, if you disagree, what characters you would put higher, what things I omitted. Maybe I omitted something. So, anyways, that's about it for today. I hope you find this entertaining, and I'll be seeing you next time. Bye!